that is very dear to me and maybe very dear to you, to a lot of you. And that is building this business on a part-time basis. Now, how many of you in this room still have a full-time job? Wow, we still got a lot of people working full-time, right? Yep. Me too, that's exactly where I was. See, when we first got introduced to Visalis, I don't know about y'all, but I was busy. Anybody out here busy? Got some busy people? Yeah, right on, exactly. And one of the reasons I almost didn't get involved with this business was because I was too busy. But I tell you, thankfully, Mike and Levon Craig said to me, you know what? You're too busy not to get involved with this thing. And you know what? He was right. Looking back almost 3 years now, best decision we've ever made. So, that being said, best decision we've ever made, best decision you've ever made. How do you build this thing on a part-time basis to be as effective and efficient as possible, right? You want to be effective, but you got to be efficient, man. You got a lot going on. You got a full-time job. How many people have kids? A lot of people have kids. Does that keep you busy? Yes or no? I got 3 of them, man. Yeah, it keeps you busy, doesn't it? So, guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to launch into it. First thing I want to ask you is this. Speaking of kids, there we go. That was right on cue. That was good. Look at these stats. I love these things. Who would have ever thought, now the first one doesn't surprise me at all, that over 60% of people would prefer to be their own boss. How many of y'all would prefer to be your own boss? I'll tell you, that was right at the top of my list. Fire the boss, right? Absolutely. But look at this. 77% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. The thing that really knocked me out on this is that 7 million Americans work 2 jobs. I don't know about you all, but if I had to have a second job, could you think of a better job than this? Anybody? Absolutely not. In terms of how you use your time, leverage your time. Absolutely, and everybody wants all the things listed. More free time, vacations. How about a plan B in today's economy? As we're out there talking to people about this business, how many of you are running into people and you're hearing, man, you know what? I just don't know. Week to week, sometimes day to day, how secure my position is, right? How much more secure would people feel if they had a part-time business like Vi? Right? So, what's really going to drive you? If you're out building this business part-time, and we already established everybody's busy, right? We're all busy, lots going on. I tell you what, this is absolutely critical. If you are building part-time, the most important thing that you can do is figure out your why. What do you want, and how bad do you want it? See, this is the one thing that will propel you to action each and every single day. So, what I want to ask you, a few people here in front, excuse me, sir, right here in the front, why are you doing this business? Financial independence. How bad do you want that? Real bad. Is that enough to make you want to go to work every day and build this business? Absolutely. How about you, ma'am? What you want? Retirement and education funds for her children. How important is that? Very important with 4 kids, absolutely. Would that propel you to go to work to make that happen for your children? That's a good why. So you guys are starting to see this, right? You got to have that why, okay? You definitely have to have that locked down first. And the next thing that you've got to do is you've got to set realistic goals. Be realistic. And now you can say, hey, look, man, I got this why, and I want this bad. I want this thing real bad. I want it so bad, I want to go to work every day. Man, you got to balance your time. Be realistic with it. Because what you don't want to do is be in the office there working this thing. Well, if you were on my downline, I'd say go do it. But what you don't want to do is be working this thing crazy, and next thing you know, you're getting in trouble at work or you're out of a job, right? So you got to be somewhat thoughtful about how much time you can actually allocate to your business. So make sure you've got your why. Figure out what's a reasonable amount of time. How much time would y'all spend? Let's say, if you had to guess, for your kids, you're building an education fund for your children. How many hours a week could you work, ma'am, if you were doing that? How many hours a week are you able to put into this business? About 15 hours a week. That's a good number. 15 hours a week. Somebody else. How much time per week? Give me a regional director. Where's a regional director? Right here. How much time a week would you put into this business?
Right now, I'm putting in about 15.
15 hours, okay? Again, it's important to know how much time you want to allocate and be organized. So we now know we have that down. We're going to work 15 hours per week, okay? And like we said before, it's all about balance. It's all about striking that balance. So now we've established two things, right? We're working this business part-time. What are the two things we've established? We've established our why, right? And we've established how much time we're going to commit to this business, correct? Now what we need to do is we need to get organized. You need to figure out when you're going to allocate those 15 hours. See, everybody's different, guys. When I started working working full-time, I was an executive in the insurance industry, okay? So what I had to do is I had to look at my schedule and figure out, based on my schedule, when I could work my Vibe business. And I knew I wanted to put in at least 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday when we first got started, at a minimum, okay? So for me, I had to drive to an office. How many of y'all have a commute to work every day? People have commute? You guys drive? Walk? Ride your bike? Ride your bike might be tough to do some work on the way to work if you had to do that. All right? When I was driving to work, I had 30 minutes on the way to work. Okay? I had 30 minutes on the way home from work. If I didn't have a lunch appointment scheduled that day, I had a lunch block that I could use. I could say, hey, I'm going to go grab some lunch, and I could go hit the phones, okay? So I knew exactly when my time windows were open, okay? I'm going to give you a really good tip, though. Really good tip. And that is, before you go into the day, before you go into your work day, whatever it may be, know exactly what it is you want to get done that day. Okay? When it comes to staying organized, you need to know exactly what it is you want to get done in that day. Because guess what? If you don't know what you're going to do, and I jump in the car, and I'm on my way to work, and I've got that 30-minute window, what's going to happen? Nothing. Exactly. Or, you know what? If something does happen, you know what's going to happen in that 30-minute window? I'm going to be sitting there trying to figure out, now what should I be doing during this 30-minute window of time that I have available to me, and before you know it, it's going to be gone. All right? So I would tell you guys, definitely you're going to want to make sure that you stay organized. Okay? Definitely these are the things that you want to do when you're working your business part-time. You want to keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. We want everything to be efficient. Think about the things that are most important for you that day. Who are the people that you want to call? Write them down. Who are the people that you've already called that you need to follow up with? Guess what? Write it down. Those are great phone calls to make on your way to work, on your way home from work. You know, the other thing, I don't know about y'all, but we have 3 kids. So one thing that I did is I would get home from work, okay, and I'd spend time with the family. Maybe dinner, maybe the kids had activities. But you know what? My kids were down in bed by 9:30 at night. Gave me an hour from 9:30 to 10:30 if I wanted to make some more phone calls, follow up with some people. As my business started to build, I might want to dive into my Vinet. And one of the last things I did before I went to bed at the end of the night was I made a list of all the things I wanted to do the next day. Does that make sense? It's critical. Before I went to bed, I made a list of all the things I wanted to get done the next day. That was probably the most successful thing that I had done and that I've seen others do that are building part-time. Okay? A couple other things. In terms of keeping things simple, you want to stay plugged in. Get information. Don't go hunt for the information yourself. If you got a team call, plug into that team call. Let the leaders on the team download the information to you. That's pretty efficient. Would you rather go out and hunt the websites and look for information yourself, or would you rather jump on a team call and in 30 minutes you're going to have everything that's relevant in terms of where we are in the month, what's going on in your business, downloaded to you? Does that make sense? And again, this is important not just for us as leaders, but it's also important for who? All of our new people, right? Coming on board. So definitely stay plugged in. All right? You've got some things up here. Use your job to grow your own market. It's all about creating your story and leverage your upline in their success stories. I think as leaders, we all understand that, the importance of a story, right? That's the thing we're doing. You want to get out as quickly as you can. You want to build that story. One of the stories that we had is, hey, look, you know what? I got introduced to Visalis in May of 2011. By May of 2012, I had doubled my full-time income with my part-time business. Literally, that's what we did. I know you guys probably heard Jim Rohn talk about that. That's what we realistically did. It's a great story. Is that a great story? We need to create those stories ourselves. We need to help our team create those stories. And if you're working part-time and you're building your business, maybe you don't have those stories yet, leverage somebody else's story. Make sense? Everybody tracking? Okay, what do we do next? The best thing that you can do when you're building the business part-time is build locally. Definitely build locally. All right? I don't know about you guys. Who has a group in the United Kingdom right now? Anyone? Okay. And it's great. Isn't it awesome? I've got a group in Germany. How cool is that? Really, really cool. Now let me ask you a question. Does it take more time or less time to build in the United Kingdom versus your backyard? Does it take more money or less money to do challenge parties with your promoters in the United Kingdom or those in your backyard? Okay, last question. Are your commissions bigger for your UK team than they are for the people in your backyard? No. Exactly. So guys, build locally, especially when you're starting out. Now when you start getting a big business, your business is going to rapidly expand and you're going to want to grow into other markets. International is huge, but for people that are new building part-time, they've got to start locally. Okay? Build out-of-town groups once a month. If you got a full-time job, it's hard to go out of town every weekend. I know that was hard for us. Different people were like, hey, we want you to come visit. Come visit. I'm like, man, I'm working Monday through Friday. I can't be coming to visit everybody every Saturday and Sunday. It just ain't going to happen. So I had to pick key markets that we were working with, and once a month I flew out and went and saw one of those key markets. It might have been up in Chicago. It might have been Colorado. Okay? Focus on income-generating activities. This is very, very important, right? Who's busy? Who's busy? Y'all are busy, right? Question is, are you busy doing the right things? See, when you're building this business part-time, you don't have a lot of free time, correct? None of us have a lot of free time. Why would you take those precious few moments and use those on things that aren't going to make you money? Make sense? So again, building part-time, you want to make sure that you're focusing on doing the income-generating activities. Getting out, challenging people, right? Challenging people, filling those waiting rooms. How about challenge parties? I'm going to ask you guys a question. I'm not the brightest guy in the group here. I don't know about y'all, but one thing I figured out, when we're running challenge parties, guess what? We're taking applications. And when we're taking applications, that means we're signing up new customers and new promoters. I'll say that again. I just figured that out. When we're running challenge parties, we're taking applications, we're signing up new customers and new promoters, and guess what? We're making money, right? Focus on the income-generating activities, without a doubt, okay? Reinvest your profits back into your business. This is another good thing. If you want to grow, I don't know, how many people in the audience, do we have any business owners? Do you have a business? Oh, I've got a lot of business owners. Do you have to reinvest some money back into your business to make it grow? Too much. There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. You've got to reinvest money. I don't care what your business is. I don't care if you're selling, pencils on the beach. You know what I mean? You're going to have to, at some point, get a brand new can to hold those pencils because the one you have is going to get beat up. Right? Doesn't matter what you're doing. You got to reinvest back into your business. With this, again, you're going to want to reinvest some profits back into your business, but be smart about where you do it, how you do it. Okay? And then the last thing, personal growth is an absolute must. All right? Why would you think that personal growth would be an absolute must? Because you're here working a job. You're here as an employee, right? And our goal is to go here as an entrepreneur, controlling our own destiny, doing our own thing. Okay? In order for you to get from this point to this point, it's going to require some personal growth. And we've got some great stuff in our back office when it comes to personal growth. So guys, the question I ask you is this. How big is your dream and how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? How willing are you going to go to work for it? Because you know what? Again, if you'll work this business very efficiently, you'll do it effectively. And if you're focused on your income generating activities, the sky is the limit. You will be off, you'll be running, you'll be creating that story for yourself and for every single person on your team. So guys, thanks so much for letting me share a little bit of this with you guys. Was that helpful? Building your business part-time,